Crosby and the challenge presented by game planning for him and his team?
Well, first, I think what you respect is just his longevity and how much he's been a dominant and effective player. He's won all, both in our league and on the international stage. So, I mean, there's no shortage of reasons to respect him there. In terms of playing against him, it's gonna be hard on the puck. You got to keep him to the perimeter. You got to take away his options. Try to make those him and the other guys that they have. Try to make them defend as much as you can. Keep them away from your end. Not an easy thing to do.
Hey, Sheldon, last week, Daryl Sutter referred to Mitch as the whole package. Where have you seen Mitch's steps to the defensive side of the game since you've been part of this team, I guess?
I don't know if I would say he's made steps because I think he's always been that. I mean, when I took over, he was already killing penalties. He was already the guy out late in games. So I think as you continue to get more experience, you get older in the league. I think you refine those abilities. But he's always been that guy. So wouldn't want to say that he's made steps since then. I think he just continues to realize that it's an important part of the game. And he's counted on those situations, and that he needs to take it seriously, and he does.
Have you coached many smarter hockey players, IQ-wise?
Probably not. I mean, it's pretty. As we talked about the other night, just with that play that he made, offensively, just the level of awareness you need to have, and then the skill set to be able to pull it off. That just kind of speaks to the fact that you have that. Because sometimes you can coach really smart players, but they don't have the abilities to really act on that intelligence. So there's a gap there, and when you get a player that has both, you end up with Mitch Marner.
What's it say to the team when Austin's blocking a shot when you guys are up 4-1 and Seattle get in the way of a Vince Dunn shot there?
Well, the first thing it means is we've probably done some things wrong that have led to us spending too much time in our end, which was the case on that particular shift. But I don't question Austin's willingness to get in front of shots and block shots. But I think it speaks to the mindset of our team. I think that's an area that we can continue to focus on and get better when that's what the game calls for. But it's you don't want to. I think on that one, you end up kind of taking on the side a little bit if we're thinking about the same one, and that you don't love to see. Normally, he fronts them pretty good and takes it right in the meat of the shin pad. So that's something I've come to expect from him as a center down there. A lot of pucks end up coming down your way, and that's something that he's done really well. And at times, he uses it as an offensive tool because he knocks those pucks down and he goes the other way quickly.
Do you take much from the earlier games against the Penguins, Sheldon, given that, especially the first one, you guys were a different team? How do you see that?
Well, I think the thing we certainly should take away from it is what the opponent is capable of. If we're not sharp, we think we've grown a lot since then. A lot has changed since then, but it just means you've got to be alert and you've got to be aware of your opponents. You got to know their strengths. So I think not just because of the games that we've played against them, but let me just look at their season that they've had. I mean, they're an elite team, and they've been an elite team for a long time. It doesn't give you any easy nights against them. So there's no shortage of reasons for us to be at our best tomorrow.
You had split up Muzzin and Hall, go with a bit of a different look down the stretch in Seattle. Can you kind of walk us through the decision making there, and then why you put everything back together for today?
Well, the first thing I would say to you is maybe not to read too much into the practice today in terms of our decision making for tomorrow. We might have a different look tomorrow with it, but regardless of what it is today or what it may be tomorrow, it's we think Muzzin and Hall are guys we know are going to have to take on big minutes and be a big part of things for us. And at the same time, we have moved things around throughout the season, and we probably will continue to do so down the stretch.
Muzzin and Hall, the goals have gone in. The underlying numbers, maybe I don't know what you're seeing, haven't been terrible per se. Like, do you have an idea? Is it just the one big mistake that's kind of costing them? How would you explain why the puck seems to just be going in against those guys?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the puck going in the net, that probably requires a little bit of a deeper look. But you look at some of the things that go bad. I think it's more compounding situation. It's not just one mistake. It's usually one mistake which leads to a second and a third, and then a great deal of fatigue, and then there's a breakdown and the puck goes in. That's what I have seen. And it's not just on those guys, it's on our team, but how we manage a mistake when it happens, to not let it compound to when we get the next touch on a puck. I mean, you look at the goal the other night, their first goal, that's a really tough shift, where a lot has gone wrong, and then all of a sudden we have the puck and things have a chance to settle down, and then we turn it back and come back to our own end, and that's when the bad break happens, where it hits the referee. So that's, to me, we're not managing the situation well, and that's really nothing to do with Muzz and Hall in that particular case, but it's the things that have happened, prior to that we want to get better.
Starter for tomorrow?
Campbell.
Campbell.
Yep.